Money boy, money boy, money boy. Trade. Money boy, money boy, money boy. Trade.
Private jet flights overseas. Damn piece.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Toxic Masculinity Show. I am your host, MoneyBoy Trey, and today I am here with the very talented, amazing, and beautiful Sharie LaShell. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
You said what?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed to be in your presence, and I'm actually amazed that it came together so quickly, seeing as I just found out about you Saturday morning at the Heal the Hood event.
Yes, at the Heal the Hood Toy Drive. That's an event. I work with Heal the Hood, so we do that every year. And yeah, that's it. You saw me through the stream, right? The live stream?
Yeah, Tony XP via Visicom Media, I believe it is.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, he was there.
before we get in, please let these people know where they can find you and follow you and everything about you.
Definitely. What's up, y'all? My name is Sharie LaShell. I am an R&B hip-hop recording artist. All of my music is positive music. You can find me at www.sharielashell.com, Sharie LaShell on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube channel as well, where I post updates on my music as well as covers for other songs.
All right. So how long have you been singing and rapping?
Okay, let's see.
You know I'm finna get out in your business, right?
You cool, you can get all in my business. We all right, we family right now. Let's see. I didn't fully start professionally performing until I would say maybe about 2015 as Sharie LaShell. Sharie LaShell was the artist and the name that I decided to start on in 2015. Before then, I had myself under my real name, which is April Jones. I was performing just as that then. But yeah, it's been about a good 5 years now. So it's been a nice little ride. Before then, I was doing acting. I was doing musical theater. And of course, I still do acting in different movies and whatnot now, which a new project started at the beginning of the year. That's great. But other than that, I'm pretty much a little jack of all trades.
You're all around entertainer, I see. That's what's up. So who was your motivation to begin singing? What artist inspires you?
A combination of Michael Jackson and Sharie. I love the realness and that conscious music that Sharie produces. Then I love the performance nature that Michael Jackson has. I remember when I was little, they came out with a DVD of like all of Michael Jackson's number ones. And I got so obsessed with watching that DVD over and over again with my mom. I would just play those music videos over and over again and would want to create that same type of attitude when I get on stage, that rawness. And when I get on stage, that's when I feel more like myself. I don't feel like I'm putting on a persona. I don't feel like I'm acting or like hiding who I am when I'm on stage. So.
Okay, question.
What
I heard when you were performing, you said this is the song I wrote, and you came in. I like the song. I can't remember the name of it, but
yes.
Again, that was the song that made me be like, "Hey, dude, what is her name?" What was the name of that song, and was there something in particular that you were going through that inspired that song?
Oh man, you get into the there was. So that song is called "Can't Breathe." That's a nice little R&B joint. It's inspired by those R&B hits where it's kind of like back in the 90s where you would have a lot of female artists that would make songs that were very confident, very strong. But it's kind of like I wanted to bring it into the 2020 year. So that song pretty much was inspired by the situation with a previous person that I was dating. And this is my thing. I am very confident in myself. I know who I am. I like who I am. But the thing about that is that confident women do intimidate a lot of men. This is something that I've learned. I'm an outspoken person. Look, don't make that face. I'm just saying. I'm not arrogant, not by a long shot. I'm not cocky. You meet me halfway, I meet you halfway. That's the type of person I've always been. But if certain women may call a man to meet a certain status or level, like if I'm up here, I want you to at least work your way to get up there with me. I'm not going to try to pressure you or any of that, but I need you to get up there with me. That intimidates some men. That song called Can't Breathe is pretty much talking about a situation with the previous guy where I had certain standards and I told him, hey, if you can try to meet these, I'm going to work with you. He felt insecure in certain areas, so he started getting a little clingy, started getting a little obsessive, showing up in my house randomly, asking to check my phone. And I handed my phone to him with no issues. But these were his problems. So the thing about it was that he started to suffocate me. I started feeling like, yo, this is too much. Calm down. So that's how the song got produced. I can't breathe. Like I know who I am and I know what I have to offer. But I just need you to breathe. Like, let me breathe for a second, okay? Calm down.
Do you mind singing the chorus for that song?
Sure. Can't you see? It's just you and me. I don't need no cage like a bird. Let me free go. I can't see if you wanna be together so happy. Then I need to chill, take a pill, cause with you I just can't breathe.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is Sharie LaShell. This is who I'm talking to right now. The very talented, beautiful, and finding out that she's very diverse. Are you from Memphis?
I am.
Born and raised in Memphis. Yet another reason for y'all to go subscribe to her YouTube page at Sharie LaShell and all other social medias following that. So I was looking at your Saturday night video. How did you come up with the concept for that?
That song came out at the very beginning of this year. And the thing about it was that originally that was supposed to be a different type of concept where the song was talking about going out and having fun. Then quarantine hit and COVID spread everywhere. So it's not really, encouraging to make a song about going out where everybody's locked inside. So I pulled the song back and I sat down and I thought about the fact that right now a lot of people are stuck indoors and it's hard to feel like you're having fun or hard to feel like you got some type of freedom when you're stuck inside all day. So rewrote the lyrics. I got Princess Yasmin on there. She is a dope rapper. I didn't rap on this one. I wanted somebody else to join me on it. And the song pretty much is talking about, yo, it's Saturday night and we can't leave the house, but we can still have fun. There's still ways for you to get up, turn your music on, do your makeup, put on clothes, or stay in your pajamas the whole time. It don't matter. That's the benefit of being at home. Me, I may be an extroverted person on stage, but at home, I'm very introverted. I will turn up all the music in my apartment, dance around my apartment, but don't let nobody see me do it through my window, though. I got hide at this point. But yeah, the song is pretty much talking about, like, let's just have fun. It's okay. It's okay. And I know it's stressful and I know it's a hard time to, like, live through right now, but we are living through history. So we need to learn how to adapt to these situations.
So how has COVID hurt you as an artist and how has it helped you as an artist?
Oh, that's a good question. Hurt me as an artist, not being able to go out and perform, not being able to work on my craft as much as I would, not being able to go to vocal trainings as much, and not being able to get out there in the public the way that I'm used to. It's helped me because that's challenged me. So if I can't get out there and perform, I got to find other ways to get it done. Performing, doing live, streaming. If you can't go out to network into group live areas, you better learn how to network and work your social media like you're supposed to. So it's, double-edged sword. It's like one side of it's bad. I don't get the social connection that I normally would like to in public places, but I've learned how to work my social media. I've learned how to do email streams. I've done a lot of research on learning how to reach out to different social media, radio sites and music blogs and things like that, getting information. I've used this time to work on my craft more at home and chosen to take a break. The video itself, if you watch, like when you guys get a chance to, go to Sharie LaShell YouTube channel. The video itself is clips of multiple fans of mine, people who listen to my music, and friends and family that all recorded themselves dancing to the song in their living room with each other, just having fun at home, pretty much.
It was dope. It was almost like one big TikTok challenge. It was dope.
Yes, exactly.
So, being in music, um do you feel that it's important to write your own music, or are you a person that accepts ghostwriters? Because me personally, and K Michelle, don't kill me, but I don't think K Michelle is where I won't say want to be, because I don't know what her level of success is. What she's doing may be successful to her, but if I had to guess, she's not at where she should be, because she doesn't accept ghostwriters and all her songs sound the damn same. Don't kill me, Kay. I love you still. Don't kill me.
I'm gonna say this much. I do think writing your own music is important. I think you should be open to receiving songs from other writers because that does give you some variety. That being said, I think a good artist learns how to create multiple sounds themselves. I've been a ghostwriter for different artists as well. And some of those songs have gotten pretty popular. Only thing is that I've written songs for R&B and hip hop artists. I've written soul, neo soul style songs. I've written a couple of rock songs as well as Christian gospel music. So I think it's important to learn how to create different sounds for yourself. So that way, not all your music sounds the same. Now, I'm gonna say one thing. When it comes to K Michelle, love you, K. A lot of her subjects are the same. That's what I think K Michelle messes up at, is a lot of her content is the same. The lyrics are very familiar.
Yes.
It's the same thing that a lot of people got tired of with listening to Adele. A lot of her music was talking about who? The same dude that broke her heart, cheated on her, she cheated on him, they were in love, blase, blase. So I think it's you, once again, like I said,
it works for Future though. Somehow Future manages to thrive off of it.
Man, look, I think it works okay for Future, but I even get tired of listening to Future sometimes. Same thing with Chris Brown. He a dope artist, crazy performer. Same thing his music. I mean, you can only talk about how dope your cars are, how much money you got, and how good you is at sex only a few times.
No, you got like 3 albums, not a few times. You got like 3 albums to talk about it.
You
got to turn to Jay-Z and talk about artwork.
Okay. You know what? One thing I can respect. I will respect the fact that Jay-Z does have different subjects, though. Most of the time, he is talking about how he's the coldest rapper in the game. Sometimes, other than that, he talks about having money. But I mean, a few of his songs be different. A few of them.
Who is an artist that you would like to work with if you could work with anybody, alive or dead? If you could go in that machine and just say, boom, I want to work with this person.
Oh man. That's a good question.
Mine is Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah. Yes, Marvin Gaye would be dope. Dang. My go-to answer is always Michael Jackson, just because the different projects that I work on often create types of world creation. I'm really into world creation. Michael Jackson was one of those people where if he created an album, it took him 4 years in between each of his albums. And the reason why was because he created worlds around each of them. And
it's too damn famous and he didn't have time to do that shit.
Look, when you dedicated, you dedicated. He will disappear for 4 years and make an album. I think that's craftsmanship, man. I think that's dedication. That's dope. So I feel the same way. When creating music, I would want Michael Jackson would be the only person I can imagine that would be able to create a complete world the way that I would want to make it with the music.
So have you put out an album yet?
No, actually in the middle of getting ready to release an EP. We haven't released that date yet, but 2021 EP coming. Like I said, all 2020 been working on my craft, been expanding myself, learning, doing as much as I can. So come 2021, that EP getting dropped. Be on the lookout on my social in 2021 for the date of that EP.
Okay, you gotta give me a current artist too. Who's current that you would want to work with?
Ooh, Daniel Caesar. Man, her. You know what? her is one of those artists I definitely can't see myself working with. Just because.
Summer Walker.
Summer Walker for you?
Yes. I'd be trying to get pregnant the whole time.
I will say that just she redid what Usher did hit different. That was a dope song. I do like that. Some people don't do remakes well, but she did that remake really well.
I like remakes unless Jacquees does them, and then I'm just like, nigga.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me not make that face.
Oh, I guess so. You don't like Jacquees either. I'm not alone.
He's not my cup of tea.
He's like a Vegas lounge singer. He's trash. He that got it, the wedding singer.
He said trash. I'm not gonna call him trash, but he be out of pocket sometimes with some of the runs he be doing, and it's
if he's trash, he's trash.
His voice is just, it's something he does with his voice when he's singing that's just not it just don't hit for me. I don't listen to Jacquees. I've heard some of his songs, but nah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the Toxic Masculinity Show. I am here with Sharie LaShell, Memphis' own. Tell them where to find you at again, Sharie.
www.SharieLaShell.com, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Sharie LaShell as well. And yeah, just check me out, y'all. Stay tuned.
So how do you feel about this new round of COVID restrictions that's going on?
I think it's good they're put in place. I think a lot of people aren't taking it as seriously as they should, because at the end of the day, whether or not you believe it's a conspiracy, whether or not you believe it's real, fake, blase, wear the mask, man. Just avoid any issues. Avoid spreading it if you do catch it, because some people apparently can get it and don't even know they got it. So just avoid all the complications. Put the mask on. Just put the mask on.
So if you're called right now to perform in front of 700 people, are you going? Because you know you can't sing in the mask. Are you going?
I can't sing in the mask. I will go, but we probably gonna do something where I'm just sitting at a piano singing at that mic and like I'm away from the stage.
You still in the building? What the hell is being at the mic?
I mean,
what is being at the piano gonna do?
You ain't let me specify. See, I ain't know you said in the building. I ain't know we was inside. I'm imagining in front of 7 people outside.
700.
700 people outside.
Enclosed.
If we enclosed, I'm
okay.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay. Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
You were booked for the black affair that just happened.
Okay. I will stream in. I will up whatever internet. I got Comcast. Xfinity. I up it all. Make sure everything's set up. Make sure the background look great. Have nice lights. All of that. I will make it a live stream performance. I'll let that be it. Cause
I haven't seen one person in them jacked up outfits say they got sick. I'd have performed. I'd have went there and tore it down and just been like, hey, if I die, I die doing what I love.
If you die, bro.
Man, I die doing what I love. I wouldn't blame it on COVID.
I don't want to blame it on. No, I'm gonna say I just wouldn't want to put myself in the pathway of it. I stream online. If we was outside though, that's a different story. I'm gonna go if we outside. I'm gonna tear it up if we outside. But we trapped inside, man. Folks don't cover their mouth when they cough.
No, we weren't doing that before or after COVID. But some of the stuff they got is just ridiculous. Some of the shit that they say do.
Yeah. There was a bunch of the confusion that was going on with people saying, "Oh, you can get taken to jail now if you ain't got your mask on," and a lot of at one point in time there was a bunch of
I would be running that day.
There was that one point in time where a lot of people were getting mad because a lot of black people were getting picked up for not wearing their mask, or certain police officers were saying, "Oh, I can take you to jail because you ain't got your mask on." So then that was right around the time when George Floyd died. So that caused a whole nother surge of racial issues. It was crazy, man.
And no mask wearing. Speaking of which, you've been in Memphis your whole life. Have you personally encountered any racism or any police misconduct or anything of the such?
For sure. For sure. Memphis, I love Memphis. Don't get me wrong. I love Memphis. This is my hometown. This is my city. I lived in downtown Memphis. But you gonna experience
nothing downtown. What you get? What somebody called you a nigger?
Yeah. Actually, I have been. Yeah, down
here. Is that offensive in 2020?
I think it's still offensive. In my opinion, it is.
Were you offended?
I mean, I know you got certain people nowadays in relationships where like they friends with white people and they be like, oh, you can say it, bro. You got the black card. You cool. Nah, bro. Say it to me. Say it to me. See what happened.
Oh, why? You know they do that just to trigger you. They know it means shit. They do it to trigger people.
I know how to maintain a proper image in public. I know how to do that. I know what bait is. I'm not stupid. But the moment you say it to me, you just showed your card. I know what type of person you are. I know what you're going to try to pull. You just exposed yourself. So now I ain't going to be stupid. I ain't going to mess with you no more.
I'm just, okay.
I've had friends here in Memphis that are white that become friends with me just so that they get to use the N-word. And when I bust their bubble and said, no, don't use it with me, they got offended. Like, oh my gosh, me as this white person, I became your friend. I gave you your white friend. The least you could let me do is say it. Man, whatever.
Oh, yeah. So you hanging out with them 22-year-old white people?
No. They're actually, the person I'm thinking of was 27. Nah.
Did you really just add 5 years to what I said?
Look, you can learn a lot in 5 years. That's all I'm saying.
That was such a woman's response. It was.
You know what?
Yes.
I ain't even gonna comment.
Comment. This is what we do on the Toxic Masculinity Show. We have healthy dialogue and debates and sometimes arguments. So, come on with it. They expect nothing less.
Look, I don't know why you feel that's a woman's response, but I disagree. That is not a woman's response. I feel like that's a sensible response. Come on now, you can learn a lot in 5 years. Some people don't learn nothing. Don't get me wrong. Some people stay ignorant all their life. But for the most part, I think most people at least learn 1 or 2 things in 5 years. I don't know though. If you white though, it's hard for you to admit that if you got white privilege or something. It's hard for some white people to admit that.
I ask this all the time when people say it. What is white privilege to you? Explain white privilege.
White privilege are the opportunities, the extensions, and the abilities that you have as a person of Caucasian. Well, I'm not even gonna say Caucasian because that's technically not theirs either. A person of pale or fair skin tone or Scandinavian heritage, you have opportunities and just abilities that other people, like you are able to do certain things that certain people of color cannot do. Or white privilege being you have access to certain resources, or 9 times out of 10, your image is seen more. You have certain experiences, or you haven't experienced certain things that people of color have experienced. For instance, most Black people have been in a room where they've been surrounded by a bunch of white people before, and they probably were the only Black person in the room. A lot of white people can't say they've experienced that.
Now, do you think in 2020, where we call everything racist and we're demanding equality all across the board in these things, and we can get people fired and canceled, do you think Black privilege exists?
Yes.
I like you. At least you're honest. At least you're honest.
Black privilege exists. I think light skin privilege exists. Everybody has a certain level of privilege where they exist. That's like
light skin privilege.
Like I have friends that are white, Latino. My second language is Spanish, so I got plenty of Spanish speaking friends. I will openly have these conversations with them, and I always encourage them to come and talk to me about this because I'm willing to talk to them. I have Black privilege as well as light skin privilege because I am light skinned. People that are white or other races typically think that I am more friendly or that I am more approachable because I'm light skinned.
There's some truth. There's some truth to that stereotype, though. You know, the angry Black woman is typically an angry dark-skinned Black woman.
And you know what's messed up? The reality is that quite often in music, they always say which one is actually the mean one, the light-skinned one.
Because y'all evil.
Ooh,
The dark ones are loud and nasty, and y'all are evil and snobbish.
no.
It's just the stereotypes I've had and observed in my life.
Well,
Doesn't
see,
make
we gotta stop. We gotta stop believing in stereotypes. Now, is some truth to some stereotypes.
There's
Because
truth to all of them. That's why they exist.
I'm gonna say some of them, because not all of them are
How
true.
many black people you know don't like chicken?
Actually, I know quite a few. I have some friends that are vegetarian that don't like chicken at all.
They don't count. Those aren't even human beings. They don't. They eating bowls of leaves and shit. Don't nobody want
Oh,
to do it.
no, look, they are still human. They just don't like chicken. And I know plenty of white people who love watermelon. So
I don't like watermelon.
you don't like watermelon?
No.
Why? What's your favorite fruit, man?
My favorite fruit is strawberries, followed by kiwi, then mangoes, pomegranates. I'm weird. I don't like cantaloupe. I don't like none of the fruits niggas like.
Look, I'm gonna say I think that has to do with what you've been exposed to, what you like. Because my favorite fruits are mangoes, pineapples, dragon fruit.
Well, we both had mango in there. With pineapple, yes, I like that. Dragon fruit, I've only had it a few times, so I really haven't made a decision on it.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it. They expensive though. One dragon fruit is like $5. So I don't eat them too often, but I do like them when I can get them. But yeah, I think it's about it. I think it's about exposure. What have you had a chance to experience?
What have I had the chance? And what in terms of food?
Like just saying stereotypes in the conversation for stereotypes. I think it's about what you've had the opportunity to like experience overall. So,
Well, from first through eighth, I was like the only black person in my school.
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've experienced both sides. But people never believe me when I say I personally have never encountered racism in Memphis. In fact, a lot of the shit me being able to go to Disney World and away to Camp Nebagaman for 2 months for the whole summer happened because of white people.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you a question. What's the word? Dang it, I can't even think of the word. Affirmative action.
What about it? I think it's trash. I think it needs to go. Simply because.
But hey, let me ask you a question though. The fact that you were the only black student in your class at your school.
Oh no, it was because my mama was Catholic. She went to a Catholic school and she paid tuition. It wasn't affirmative action. She paid.
Do you think that your mother and
my brother went as well?
Okay,
but we're 4 years apart, so I still
really...
right.
Yeah, I guess I just look at it like to a certain extent, even with affirmative action being something that's existent, you kind of have to also pay attention to the fact that these people who look at these applications, even if mama could pay that tuition, they still had a slew of black people to choose from, and they had to only get at least one in the school so that they didn't have to seem racist.
That's not true, because niggas wasn't Catholic back then. It's still not a lot of black Catholics out here. The families are dying off because my family was one of those type families, and our kids and cousins aren't going to the Catholic. We're not sending our kids. They're like our moms and them did, but it was kind of like a tradition. They didn't care whether it was good or bad. Like, we had no input in what school we wanted to go to until I got put out, and then it was where you want to go.
No, I think for me, I went to Willow Oaks. Then after Willow Oaks, went to Elliston Baptist Academy, which was, of course, a private school. Same, only black kid in the class.
Elliston Baptist, that was a black Catholic school. I mean, black private school.
Hey, hold on. At first, it was all white. When they finally started letting other people from around the area into the school, I was a part of that first class. So I was only the only black person in my class for a couple of classes. Then as the years progressed, more black people started coming there when they learned about the school. At first though, One too many of us there.
Yeah, because like when I was coming up, Bishop Byrne was the school that the black people went to. I was at Holy Rosary, and that's because my mom. It was the tuition. She was Catholic, and the guy that was the head priest used to be her principal when she was coming up, and he knew my grandma and all of that. But I don't like affirmative action simply because, just say you, for instance, you turn into the next Def Jam and you got this big conglomerate company. Would you want the government coming to you telling you, hey, I know you built this shit from the ground up. You want to help your people and all, but we got to have some diversity in here. You got to hire 4 white people, 3 Hispanics, 2 Asians. Would you like them telling you to do that with your business?
I wouldn't mind it. Just being honest. No, I'm going to be real with you. This is the reason why. Hold on. Let me explain why. When it comes down to that, depending on what image you have for your business, as much as we definitely, you need to support Black businesses, you need to support Black money, all of that. That is very important. But at the end of the day, diversity still definitely pushes the market. At the end of the day, the reason why in the beginning, a lot of people don't even know, but in the beginning when Walt Disney first created Mickey Mouse and all of that, most of his stuff was all geared towards what? Neo-Nazism, racism, German, white people type of stuff. Then, you say who?
Hail Hydra.
Exactly. Then as time started moving forward, he started creating other images of different people that look different in his media, in his shows, all of that. Then people started recognizing, wait a minute, if I want my little girl to like Disney, I need somebody at least to look like her on there. Then they started welcoming in other people of color in different areas. And then Disney expanded and it exploded into this huge beast that is so much bigger than what it used to be. But that didn't happen until they started adding in other color and faces on there. At the end of the day, it's okay to keep your values. It's okay to keep what you started with, but still recognize the fact that one small community is not going to build it. You're going to have to bring in other people who all understand and stand with what purpose and value you have with your business.
You from Memphis, right?
Yeah.
What Korean store have you seen diversity and or affirmative action in?
See, that's the only thing. When you say diversity, I don't see
the hairstyle.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't. But
they may have one Black girl at the register at the hair shop.
Yeah, that's true. But see, that's the thing. They do it because they want to do it because they don't want to seem racist. That's the reason why they only had one Black person, because they don't want to seem racist. It isn't actual diversity. That's another part of this conversation, though. You got to look at fake diversity and real diversity. It's a big difference between the two.
Break it down.
Fake diversity is like we just said, when they have that one Black person sitting at the register up front, or they probably have the one person, oh, this is my favorite one. When you see and you go to different churches and then they finally get their first, white churches, they get their first Black member and they change the title to "We Are a Diverse Church." We're a diverse community now. No, good one. All they got is one Black person at their church or one Latino at their church. Now we're a diverse. Now we're a diverse community of worshipers.
I don't think diversity is necessary, though, as long as you're not hurting people and you're not excluding them on purpose. I don't think it's necessary.
I agree with you. It's for certain people in certain businesses, you do not have to push diversity, but just make sure you don't have any animosity. Make sure you ain't got no hate or ill will towards other communities with it. That's why I think some people mess up. If they do want to make an all Black business that supports all Black things and wants all Black employees, that is understandable, but also be aware with that is going to come consequences. You're going to have people that's going to call you out on it and going to say, why is it that you want Black people at your businesses when back in the day y'all fought to have at least one Black person at a business where it was a bunch of white people? If you can do that, guess what? I can do that at my business too.
Right.
You're going to have consequences like that come up. It's
But
okay
it
to
doesn't
stand for
happen.
who you are. Huh?
It doesn't happen though. No white people are going bothering black businesses telling them you should hire more white people. That's not happening. That's some shit we do. Keep it 100. That's some
No,
shit
you
we
can.
do.
I'm looking at it as if the table turned, if everything flipped.
If everything flipped, man, we would be in for some hell because we do some petty shit to white people.
As if they don't do petty stuff to us. We all petty in this joint.
Yeah,
Same way that black folks be posting them memes about black people thinking mayo is spicy. It be the same thing when white people be asking black folks to touch their hair.
I like Chipotle sauce. I do. I like Chipotle sauce. Spicy,
Hey,
man.
look, I like it too, but I be tripping when folks be posting them memes talking about some Chad don't like mayo because it's too spicy. Or if you add too much salt, it's gonna be spicy.
I haven't had a white person ask to touch my hair since grade school.
I get it all the time. I go to
past that. That's because you're a girl. I know white girls going up to dude talking about, can I touch your fro? Can I touch your dreads?
Depends on what community you in, baby. Because at my church,
what church is this?
My church is multicultural. They ask too. It's South Point.
You go to Life
They are
Church?
multicultural. But no, my church actually is multicultural. They got more than 10 black people at the church. Can you believe it?
And they're probably having a meeting right now, like, guys, we cannot take any more black members. We can't. Like,
you know what?
Enough.
Look, they come and they go. I'm gonna say that much. At our church, I love it because the pastor says we ain't got memberships. You come, you show up. If you stop coming, that's on you. You know, at most black churches, what they do, they gotta have you come up in front of the whole audience, have you standing next to the pulpit. They have to indoctrinate you into the community.
Get baptized.
You gotta get baptized. Like, they make it a whole spiel. And then a year and a half later, when they stop coming, everybody get bitter and salty because they like, why you stop coming to the church? I thought you was our family.
Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Toxic Masculinity Show. I'm here with Sharie LaShell. Let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me at www.SharieLaShell.com. Sharie LaShell on all social media. SharieLaShell.
Now, the highlight of your performance for me is when you said, here's a rap I wrote mid-performance. And then this dude with dreads just come out and just, how did you get that idea?
I do that with all of my performances. Let me ask you something. You remember back in the day, Janet Jackson, when she was doing all her live performances, what's the one thing she did that had the whole audience going crazy? She always pulled one out of his mind man on that stage, and she performed for him, and he was on the stage crying, screaming, about to pass out. Like, that was performance. That was entertainment.
Never a fat guy. And I noticed the guy you had looked like he was out of a Tyler Perry movie. Are you out here body shaming fat dudes? Can fat black men get some representation in your videos? That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely, 100%.
I think she's lying, y'all. I think she's lying.
No, actually, I'm gonna tell you right now. Actually, I've had performances where I pulled the nice husky guy up on stage, skinny guys, all of them deserve to feel like they have a little attention from a nice looking woman. All of them deserve it.
How many fat guys? How many fat guys?
I would say last year in 2019, I would say out of 20 performances, probably 6 of them were all plus size.
Man, that's just like a woman knocked that number down. You inflated. You inflated. You know it's about.
I guarantee you, I did. Some of them were white. Some of them were. One of them was Latino, but that's only because most of the communities I perform in were either mostly white communities or they were mostly black communities. Even though Spanish is my second language, that's a goal of mine is to start performing in more Spanish-speaking communities. So.
That's what's up. Where's the so where all have you performed outside of Memphis?
Outside of Memphis, I performed in Florida. Of course, Nashville, Coldwater, went to Atlanta this past year. This year I was supposed to go to LA and New York, but that ended up not happening because of COVID. Let's see. New Orleans, did some work in New Orleans with some collaborations. Oh man. Of course, surrounding areas, Forest City, Arkansas, like a whole bunch of different places. Up north, Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Okay. How much for a record label to sign you? What would be your asking price for a record label to sign you? What would you be looking for in a deal?
I ain't got no asking price. Let me remain an independent artist that's able to control my music, my image, what I put out.
Well, even then, negotiations go.
You said what?
I said that's where negotiations go. If they're willing to give you that with a nice figure, you wouldn't consider it. So these are things that you have to consider. If they came to you with like 20 million, 2 albums, and you got the type of creative control that you want, would you not sign?
I'd still have to read that I have to read that contract multiple times. I would need to look at what other artists they have on their days, because just because I'm the one artist that's signing as an independent artist, what else track record have these other artists with the same label had? I'm a part of an artist development course as well, where with Heal the Hood, we do artist development. And we teach them about what your contracts look like. What's a 360 deal? What does all of this stuff look like when you sign with labels? So my thing is that if a record label wants to sit down with me and say, yo, we're going to give you straight up 150 million off the top record label. We got your music. We have you locked in for 10 years. Long as you work with us. Okay, what are the specifics of that contract? Because just because you coming with me with millions of dollars and you offering to help boost my career.
That's 50 million a year.
Yeah.
I don't know now. I would be tempted.
You know what? Temptation is real, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to sell my name for 50
in
million.
2020, I can turn into an alter ego and turn that person into an artist as well. There are loopholes around everything.
Man, no, because I you know what? The thing about it is that if I would sign that, everything would go by in such a blur. You would wake up 6 years later, a completely different person, not even knowing who you're looking at when you look in the mirror. I wouldn't trust that man.
No, man, it's just like you. You have a R&B persona, you have a rapping persona. They can sign the R&B persona, but you didn't sign my rap persona. Whatever your rap persona would be, they didn't sign that. Albums dropped independently. And in the big picture, they would have promoted my alter ego side, because I would have been using my alter ego on their albums that they're pushing and promoting.
People can still find that though. Like that's still going to follow you as a human. At the end of the day, you can never leave that. Same thing with Miley Cyrus. Who was she at first? Hannah Montana, off that TV show. Then she tried to murder her persona by pursuing the rap career, and all of these rappers co-signed for her and said, oh yeah, she dope, got on her music, all of this.
That lady was trash. That lady was trash.
Look, I'm just gonna put my hands up on that one.
Name her hit single. Name the Miley Cyrus hit single. You can name the Hannah Montana hit single, but you can't name the Miley Cyrus hit single.
Miley Cyrus, yes, you can. Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball got millions.
Never heard of it. All I remember is the joint she did with Juicy J. And that was enough for me. And that was enough for me to be like, she's trash. I don't want to hear it.
What now? Okay, you know what? I'm thinking about her music in general. Now, that is the only rap style song she came out with that got popular. But what I'm saying with that is that she still isn't able to completely escape that, because all of that still followed who she was. So you telling me if somebody come to you right now and, oh, good question. If a record label come to you right now and say, hey, I'm gonna sign you 50 million on the table for your rap artist persona, but we need you to be We need you to rep the LGBT community. Hands down, no question. You
Absolutely
have to be.
not. That's because I
But that's
disagree.
50 million, though.
But I disagree with what they want me to promote. So that would be against my terms and conditions.
But you said that's 50 million, though.
It also depends on what, as you said, what it entails, what I negotiate. If that's in the negotiating, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that one, buddy. Can we nix that? Can we get that off the table?
But they say that's it. Either you sign or you walk.
Well, then I have to walk then. You just walk.
But see, that's all I'm saying. It's like one of the biggest things that's most important for me is character. So I'm like really, I try to remain the consistent person, the same person at all times. And if 3 years ago, I'm a Nicki Minaj style character, then 3 years later, all of a sudden, I'm this positive, positive, nice R&B neo soul artist. That don't feel right to me. It's the same thing with K Michelle. What she tried to do?
It's evolution, though.
Huh?
It's evolution. It happens.
Evolution happens, but I never feel like evolution moving forward is good. But I never feel like you should like take a moment to just. I don't think that creating an image, a false image for money is going to be beneficial. It's okay to have a real evolution that moves you from one place to the next. But if you're signing a contract for a false evolution, a fake image for a few years so that you can get a few $1 million, come on now, man. No.
Well, how do you think Juicy J has been able to stay relevant all this time? And the other members that came up through haven't been able to replicate the same success he had. This nigga went mainstream a few years ago with Miley Cyrus. Nobody else from that clique has been able to replicate that because he said, fuck it, I'ma evolve. I can't rap like the old looking for the chewing type shit. He had to get on the 2020 wave, the 2018 wave.
I'm gonna say when it came to Juicy J, I also think that had a lot to do with his business mindset.
I agree.
Being in the industry, I'm pretty sure you can agree, being in the industry is what? 10% talent, 90% business. He was smart when he made a lot of those tracks, when he wrote those lyrics, when he had them folks sign them contracts, he was smart. That's what kept him afloat. Not just knowing how to evolve or knowing who to work with. He was smart enough in knowing he needed to have his ducks in order so that when things do pop off, he wasn't gonna get caught up in like being in a bad position.
I agree. Like even David Banner has evolved in a certain sense. He now does conscious music, but more than rap. He's going around pretty much saying that the shit that he was rapping about is not the way to do it. So people could call that a contradiction, but he's doing what he feels is right in his evolution as a man.
I'm gonna say his new self contradicts his old self, but he isn't currently contradicting himself just because he, like you said, with evolution, who you used to be is no longer who you are now. So if you're a new person in music, in a real evolution, then you know he's valid in what he's saying. He letting folks know, hey, what I used to do, that no, this is what it is right now. Pay attention to this right now.
How many volumes of Hidden Colors have you watched?
Volumes of who?
Hidden Colors have you watched?
None.
Oh, okay. Do you consider yourself pro-black?
Yes. I used to be all pro-black, in and out, the brother man, knowing all, like know everything, being able to spit it to you every year, up and down, inside and out. Had a strong dislike for a lot of things. I was always Martin Luther King. I did coincide with a few of Malcolm X points, Shirley Chisholm and all of them out there, but I'm gonna say as time has progressed, I've even seen some flaws in our own community that I can't even support. So I think now I'm mostly pro God, pro Jesus, and just pro human. Learning not to be an idiot with what you got, because there's even some stuff our folks do that you and I both can say are idiotic.
I say it all the time, and I get crucified for it, but hey, it is what it is.
That you say that and people crucify you for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? What kills me?
That is why the name of my show is the Toxic Masculinity Show, because it seems like anything that has to do with being a man, especially a black man, is deemed toxic. So I said, you know what? If me being a man and saying what is right is toxic, well, damn it, I'm a toxic masculinity's mother freaker.
I'm going to say this much. This world we live in nowadays, number one, everybody's looking to be validated by something, which is an issue with a lot of our black folks in our community. We want to be validated so badly for our skin tone that we let certain things pass that shouldn't. Always using this for the culture phrase. And at the end of the day, you actually destroying the culture. That's a whole different conversation. And then when it comes to the whole toxic masculinity thing, you got to look at people's motives, their reasons for why they pushing certain things. There is nothing wrong with being a masculine man that stands for certain masculine attributes. Like there's this whole idea now that people want to say a man that chooses to be the breadwinner or a man that chooses to stand on a certain position. For instance, as a man, me being a Christian woman, as a man, you were made in the image of God. You are the head of the household. Some people want to say calling yourself the head of the household is a toxic masculinity trait. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not at all. I think a lot of women nowadays are experiencing toxic femininity, where they are,
term, unfortunately. Have you ever heard it?
No, I haven't, and I'm shaking my head because I know you're right. It's true. Toxic femininity is not a phrase, but it should be. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that whatever side is choosing to try to force their views upon other people have not truly sat down and understood what it meant to live in that experience. For instance, there are toxic Christians out there. Christians that want to tell everybody in and out they going to hell. Christians who want to fix people. Christians who want to...
Yes, I said it, my mom.
The Christians who want to force people into certain boxes. Christians who want to tell people up and down how right they are because they are Christian and how wrong you are. I think that's very toxic to the community. I hate that there are a lot of people that do that. Same way that I hate that there are a lot of black people who reflect our community wrong. Same way that there's a lot of women who reflect my community wrong. This is the reason why you got a lot of men like yourself who take that title, toxic masculinity, and you own it because there's a woman that was so angry and bitter about certain things, or they were so arrogant or prideful about what they believed in, they tried to force it upon you, and you like, you know what? Fine, I'll take it and I own it because you're getting on my nerves with it.
Yep. As soon as I correct something a woman does, they say, your mama black. But you see what I just said about my black mama? She's a toxic Christian.
Oh, man. That's, yeah. It's always interesting to me when you have, because I've gotten into conversations with a lot of these toxic Christians before. A lot of them definitely do try to force people or try to fix people. The purpose of Christianity is not to fix people. It's just to straight up love people, point them to Jesus, keep it moving. My goal is to not tell you everything that is wrong with you. That is where a lot of Christians mess up. They try to tell you, well, you do this, you smoke too much, you curse too much, you're going to hell for all of it. You're wrong. Do you hear me? You're going to hell. When at the end of the day, I have friends that are atheists. I have friends that are LGBTQ. I have friends that are white, black, Latino, Muslim. I have friends that are part of the Brothers of Islam, all of that. But at the end of the day, as long as you maintain a consistency with what you believe, you stand on that with the confidence and the strength that you know you need to have for Jesus, let them live their life. The point of living any type of image that you have, whether you black, whether you white, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a woman or a man, the point of it is to represent that community in the correct way. But some of us let our own emotions get in the way, and that's where we mess up. We get offended at little stuff. We get angry at the things that are irrelevant. then we end up messing it up for everybody else.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. I'm sorry. Look, I hate that. I hate that there are a lot of women nowadays making men feel like there's something wrong with them for being masculine. I do hate that.
Well, it's just a vicious cycle because most of the men that actually bow down to that shit are men that were raised by their moms, and so they feel like women are always right and they can't say anything back anyway. So it's a cycle, but luckily for every positive there's a negative. Opposites attract, so that's why they have me. For every beta male and a simp out there, you have a toxic masculinist like myself that's saying snap out of it, nigga, snap out of it.
Man, that's always interesting to me too. You have a lot of those males that you like, for the phrase you use, beta males, where they grew up in a home probably surrounded by mostly females. And I don't think a lot of people understand just how much your childhood affects what you are now. People don't realize that. That's like some really deep-seated, deep-rooted mess that lives with you for the rest of your life. So your childhood strongly influences who you are. Like, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I believe every household needs to have some type of male figure that is a positive male figure. They don't have to be the father. It could be an older brother. It could be a mentor. It could be a strong uncle. It could be someone that you see has a good image on that young man. But at the end of the day, every home does need a male figure and every home needs a female figure. They are equally important. So when you have my biggest, and I know I'm going to get crucified. Look, I'm on your show now, and I know I'm going to get crucified for saying this, but I hate it.
I got you back.
Thank you. I'm going to say hate is a strong word. I deeply dislike when I hear women say, I am the mother and the father.
Speak on it.
No, you are not. You are a mother that had to make do with the situation she was in, so you adapted. But you still were not able to teach that young man how to be a man. That young man is working off of the attributes that are general between both men and women after growing up in your home. But guess what? I can guarantee you right now, there is not a man on this planet that can say they got older and when they got into relationships and other experiences with other men, they knew what to do if they were raised in an only female home. There are a lot of black men. I'm pretty sure you can attest that there are a lot of black men that probably started out with a lot of toxic, messed up relationships or experiences because they didn't know how to activate that masculine part of them, that male part of them, that part of them that's called to be a leader, that's called to be the man. They didn't know that's called to be the provider, the protector. They didn't know how to activate that part of themselves or deal with their emotional balances in that area. So they made a lot of stupid mistakes.
Facts.
So
a lot of times the women don't realize how they're emasculating their young sons with the way they talk to them and they treat them.
Yep. If he is a young king, treat him like a young king. Same thing for my fathers who got daughters out here. If she is a young queen, treat her like a young queen. Treat her.
I don't know about king and queen stuff, but if they're young children, treat them.
What I'm saying is, if they are someone that you are raising up into that stature, you are raising them up to be a reflection of you. You are raising them up to carry on attributes that are either better than the ones that you have or the ones that you have that you want to carry on in them. So at the end of the day, you need to make sure you reflect that in them, feed that into them. I grew up in a household where my mother was very angry. Very angry. She's a different person now, praise the Lord. She's changed. But back then, she was a completely different person. I grew up being this person that was angry, being this person that was bitter. I had no reasons to be bitter, but I was bitter because she showed it in me at a young age. You people don't realize that stuff reflects onto your kids. So if I'm a mother and I'm constantly telling my child, shut up, you stupid, you just like your father, you never gonna be nothing, you nasty, you don't know how to work, then guess what? You tell that child that enough times,
they believe it.
They believe it. It's gonna be stuck in there. Then on top of that on top of generational curses, oh man, we talking some real dark stuff then.
Facts. And what bothers me is every time I try to have these conversations with my mom, she refuses to own up to anything. And I'm like, I'm not blaming you, but we are both adults. Can we actually talk about this, and you now can understand why I parent the way that I do now? They will not own up to shit.
You know, that comes from the root of our old back in the day houses where our parents would be like, what happens in this house stays in this house. And then if there's an issue, we not gonna talk about it. It's what I say goes. And then if you got anything to say from it, you better just suck it up and hold it in. That
That's
comes from that.
That's
You
how
say what?
that's how the molesters and rapers are able to stay around and come around to all the Thanksgivings 20 years later after he done had 4 or 5 victims. That is so trash. But they won't even admit to that.
No, because they are embarrassed and they don't want to talk about it out loud, and they feel like a lot of what the true issue for a lot of that is a lot of parents don't want to sit down and admit that, hey, I messed up, I made this mistake with you, and I should not have. I'm sorry, and I'm trying to learn. They don't want to say that. Everybody has this concept in their brain where they say, I'm grown. And the concept of saying you grown means you can't learn anything. So when you got a parent saying constantly, I'm grown, then they think, oh, you know what? You can't teach me nothing. You a child. You can't teach me a single thing. When in reality, man, if some of these kids could honestly tell their parents off, like actually speak to their parents the way that they wish they could, I think a lot of relationships between children and parents would be a lot better.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lovely Sharie LaShell, and I am liking you more and more. It just imagine all of this started off me seeing a 3-minute performance of you from a third party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring you back one of these days to debate my topic of women deserve 95% of the blame for the issues in the Black community. I just want you to know I am 2-0 on this topic. And one time, the Most High himself even came and intervened and shut all the women down that were on the panel. It's the funniest shit in the world. It's on camera.
The Most High, he came and did it?
Yes.
Oh, I need to watch this. Hold up.
I will inbox you the episode as soon as I can think of which one it was. I made it into a clip, so I got you. It was funny because they were on there talking big shit, and I was whooping their ass, and they couldn't combat me. And then they just bloop, one dropped out, the other one paused, and I was like, it had to be God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look, I look forward to that conversation because you might end up being 2-1.
Well, hey, I do not mind getting thrashed if I can learn something, but everything goes back to the woman. I'm going to take it back to biblical times. We could start there and just jump through history and everything you got. I'm like, it's true, but men hold 5% of the responsibility on that end. We ain't putting all the blame on y'all. We'll take 5%, but y'all are the shit starters.
I mean, if you want to get into that, just know I'm a little bit of a Bible scholar, so I might be actually dropping some facts that you don't know.
Ooh. Hey, let's get into it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Toxic Man. Oh, I'm sorry. Please let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me at SharieLaShell.com. Also, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any social media, Sharie LaShell. Get on there, check out any of my videos, any live performances. I promise it's much better than what I did today. I just wasn't in the right space. But get on there, you can see so much better.
You did. Actually, you did a dope job to be on the spot like that. And I enjoyed you. Hopefully, the listeners out there enjoyed you as well, and they heard something other than music that may get them to be like, hey, this person is dope. Let me check them out. Let me support. Yeah. So thank you for coming to the Toxic Masculinity Show, which a lot of women don't do because they think I hate women. But then every time I have a show with the woman, they're like, I enjoyed this. This was cool.
Nah, you don't hate women. You just got some strong opinions.
Yeah, and as I tell them, I meet disrespect with disrespect. As long as everybody's respectful, I'm respectful.
I feel that. I ain't gonna disrespect you.
Like, there's no need to. Even if there's something said that a person disagrees with, there's no reason to disrespect them. We're adults out here, and then we wonder why our kids are so trash, and we talk about the younger generation. Look what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. We wonder why they hate each other so much, and yeah, we're at each other necks all the time. Yeah.
Politics, religion, the Jordans coming out versus Kanye's. Is Kanye a coon? Is Candace Owens a coon? Who black? Who ain't?
Oh man, yeah. You say who?
I said it's just so much shit, and that's what I talk about. I point the magnifying glass at us as a people all the time, and I like to use myself as examples of I fucked up. This ain't right. And I don't want anybody else to go through what I went through, so I have no problem saying that I fucked up. I have no problem telling my kids that I fucked up. So hopefully they would be like, okay, well, it's okay to admit your mistakes, and I don't want to go through the same thing that this guy went through.
I feel that. That's the same thing I do. Because I do mentoring and stuff too, and with a lot of those young ladies, I sit there and tell them, look, it's not a thing under the sun. You can tell me that you messing up in now that I probably ain't did. So come on, be real with me, be honest. We're gonna figure out how to go from there. But just do me a favor. Don't be fake about it. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't lie on it. Because whatever part you hide, that's 9 times out of 10 the worst part. And that's the part that you probably could have got help for, then now you're not because you're trying to hide. You're trying to lie. You're trying to be perfect.
And we're going to end it on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Toxic Masculinity Show, episode 24, with the lovely Sharie, LaShell. If y'all don't like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video and her social media and her YouTube, you ain't black. You heard it here first. You ain't black if you don't subscribe to her YouTube and like, share, comment, all that good shit on this video.
Boy, you sound like our president.
I know he shamed niggas into voting for him, so hopefully I can shame niggas into liking this video and coming to subscribe to your channel, because she is one of Memphis's own, and as y'all can see, she sounds like she's a level-headed young lady with her head on her shoulders and a budding career. As long as y'all support.
As long as you support.
Peace. Thanks. Bye.
MoneyBoy. Trade. MoneyBoy.
Private jet flights overseas.